everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and thank you so much for joining this knowledge share, the beginning of the knowledge sharing webinar series. Maybe we should wait like 2 minutes, and maybe they can just join right now, and then we can start our today webinar, like the general webinar series. Like, yeah, just wait 2 minutes. Meantime, I just want to share my screen. Yeah, we should start like slowly, and then maybe if someone is getting to join, and then we can just yeah, follow up then later. Uh, thank you again for joining to this today session, and we can cover that the general overview webinar. Actually, we can just discuss and our simulation channel challenge 2025, that part actually. And before starting the presentation, I want to just introduce myself. I am the chair of the IEEE Young Professional Digital Transformation Innovation Hub Subcommittee, and also I'm the competition chair of the this year IEEE Metaverse Grand Challenge for simulation-based learning. This webinar series yeah, are organized by IEEE Young Professional and IEEE Metaverse actually, and just want to highlight that point actually before starting that presentation. Okay, and just briefly mention that what is our session agenda today? And by the way, if you have any questions or points you want to just discuss for this the session, please ask your questions at the end of the session, and I can go through all of the questions and discuss with your points or just to clarify that things actually. Okay, and what is our session agenda? And first of all, we should start like what is the understanding, what is our understanding of the metaverse? Just briefly mention that the definition, kind of the what is the vision of the metaverse, and then I want to just give it some kind of the examples regarding the action list. And for example, what is the real world examples in education and healthcare? We should understand what is it, what are the success stories in their landscape, and then that's a critical part, how we should go to the implement, how we should want to think about that kind of the mindset. It means that what are the foundation technologies behind the metaverse, like for example virtual reality, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, or blockchain, and more. We will discuss that kind of the points in a detailed way. And then how we can go behind. It means that in which kind of the tools or resources you should use to design that kind of your idea or platforms. I want to just also share some useful resources with you, and for example how we can design, how we can use tools we can discuss, and also open source frameworks. I will also share some resources for your learning and development side, kind of feature reading and kind of the recommendation parts, for example, tutorials and some sandbox environments. And then we can go through like the what is our IEEE Metaverse Grand Challenge, kind of what is the purpose and which kind of objectives we can go through that the Grand Challenge, and the details actually including how to participate and which kind of thema you can choose and which kind of the submission materials you can go to submit, and in which judging criteria we can go to evaluate your materials, and also just also discuss the prizes. And we will also give us some exciting and kind of news, like we have some kind of upcoming knowledge sharing webinar series. I will also give it detailed information about that kind of webinar series. And then that's the final part. Maybe you have questions or points just want to discuss with us. I will also list some frequently asked questions, and we will also release that kind of questions with you later, and then we can go to your question and answer session actually. Briefly, I wanted to start. What is a metaverse? Actually, a metaverse is a shared online 3D space where users can interact with each other and with the computer-generated objects like avatars. It is a virtual world actually that uses internet as is its underlying network. Metaverse are used for various purposes, including social interaction, networking, online gaming, education, and training purpose. They can be used to create the virtual worlds that mirror like the real world or create the entire new really digital environments. To transforming how we live and learn and connect that kind of particles in the imaginary worlds actually. Uh, First of all, we should start hypothetical examples and how we can think about the metaverse. Yeah, you can imagine that entering a kind of maybe just huge virtual mall that can accommodate as many people as the space allows. For example, they can purchase a unique digital item and a few weeks later sell it inside entirely different virtual worlds. Like, yeah, you can just go to, maybe you heard the metaverse space, Decentraland or Boston Protocol. They can just create the metaverse space for shopping mall, but you can also just want to like to use the marketplace, eBay, OpenSea. These are the structure how we can go to the design and think about the metaverse platform. Actually, that's a critical part here: seamless ownership and transfer and monetization of the digital assets across the multiple ecosystems. The first point is that you should think about the hypothetical example, but then we just want to go to the real world examples. And for example, if you just focus on the educational landscape, and if you just check the literature, just find some examples. Or for example, one of them is Victoria XR. They just want to create digital TV campuses. Actually, they're getting offered a virtual replicas of the real world institutions. You can just see here the images, and they just want to create the hands-on practice through the VR headsets. Uh, these environments include interactive classrooms, libraries accessible through the virtual reality headsets or standard web browsers. These are the purpose how they just want to create the digital TV campuses. Actually, they can also use the AI-driven avatars, virtual simulations to enhance the learning experience. We will discuss today how you can just create your AI-driven avatars or virtual simulations, in which kind of tools you can use. I will explain that particles later. And also you can reach that, for example, Victor XR environment. I just put the link at the end of the slide, and you can just reach that kind of the materials later. Okay, another example is a kind of Labster. They just want to create that kind of environmental space for virtual science laboratories. Labster provides an interactive virtual labs for subjects like biology, chemistry, and physics. Normally, it is not easy way to just design your laboratory platforms, but through the Labster, they can provide the opportunity to conduct experiments in a risk-free environment. Actually, they can explore how to just deal with the complex scientific concept. And you can just see here that image and just want to practice that kind of the laboratory environments. And another example here, Google Expeditions, actually, they just want to discontinue this concept in 2021. Right now, they just want to like to highlight Google arts and culture, but in the meantime, they just use the VR headsets, and they just use their headset actually, Google Cardboard. And the main motto here to just wanna highlight how you can go to the virtual field trips, actually to museums, historical sites, and natural wonders around the global. And they can just wanna explore around 1,000 destinations to enhance the culture understanding and engagements. But right now they are using as a Google Arts and Culture. You can just check their website and just find the resources. I also just put that information here. And they just want to highlight how you can just go through the process to just want to implement your idea or just use their platform to design your approach actually. And another example, uh, language barrier case study. For example, when we just start to design any kind of AI implementation, that's the main item here. We should just find a way to just get rid of the language barrier. In Metaverse, also, we can also use that kind of element to offer the immersive language learning experience actually. In the image, you can see easily, and they just want to like to create the kind of the some avatar way connections, and they can just practice and to enhance the pronunciation, vocabulary, and conversational skills in this kind of contextual settings actually. It's a better way. For example, it is a valuable tool for both beginners and advanced learners. They can practice actually in this kind of platform. These are the real world examples why I just mentioned there, because you can imagine that how you can use the metaverse as an element in educational platform actually. These are the samples, real world examples actually, and how they can just address the some realistic scenarios or initiatives actually. And yeah, I also just want to mention that another example, just forget about that, sorry, and X space. And okay, when we just think about the metaverse, we should just realize that we can use only virtual reality. No, we can also use augmented reality actually. That's an example here, and they just want to implement this scenario in STEM education. They can provide the option like learning stations, and it means that they can interact with the 3D models in subjects like anatomy, physics, and engineering. They can try to track your head tracking. Yeah, they can also just combine the head tracking technology with a stylus. Yeah, in this image, you can easily see, you can just get a practice through the interactive learning experience without the need of the VR headset. It's a great learning purpose to just adapt the augmented reality. And they just adopted this mindset in K-12 and higher education institutions. These are the examples and for the educational environmental settings actually. Okay, that's it. It means that the integration of the metaverse technologies in educational uh, environmental landscape fosters immersive, interactive, and accessible learning environments to bridge the gap between theoretical knowledge and practical application. That's a critical part, how the metaverse can just provide an opportunity actually. And just briefly mention that before jumping over that, how you can design or how you can go to the process implementation, we need to also know that what is the history of the metaverse, how it started that kind of the process. The term of the metaverse was coined in 1992, actually the proposed by Neil Stephenson, and by 2020s, it became an immersive digital space, actually, through the VR, AR, blockchain, Internet of Things. We will also discuss Internet of Things or some kind of emerging technologies. But maybe you know that the Facebook just changed their branding name to Meta actually in 2021. That's a great milestone actually for the metaverse. Yeah, I just want to also mention that, for example, in 1992, they just want to mention that the metaverse to describe a 3D virtual space. But 2006, we just heard that Roblox as an online platform that allows the users create and share the games with others. That's the the beginning level actually, it's just starting point. And then 2009, we just heard the Bitcoin. That's a kind of the decentralized platform, kind of blockchain We can also use the blockchain platforms. I will discuss how we can create that kind of environmental landscape for your metaverse side. Actually, that's another milestone for the history of metaverse. In 2014, Facebook just released that the virtual reality hardware and platform Oculus actually, and then 2016 Pokemon Go actually. We just heard that the gamification learning experience kind of the we should use the game for the augmented reality technology. Yeah, and in 2021, Microsoft just wanna create the Mesh as a kind of platform designed for virtual collaboration across the multiple devices, and then they just wanna change their branding name for the Meta actually. These are the history of the metaverse as a kind of the critical milestones, and we need to know that how we can go to the process, or if you want to just propose or any kind of idea, we should know that kind of history of metaverse actually. Okay, why it is crucial and why we should want to just work on that field. It could be next internet actually. And the other critical part, work and collaboration could consistently move into the metaverse. We can expect that level. Uh, First of all, I just want to focus on it could why it could be next internet actually. Metaverse kind of could be a next major online destination for global users to gather, engage, like shop, trade, lend, borrow, play, and work. It will act as an alternative to social media and eventually could push out to World Wide Web actually. Kind of the right now we are just talking about the Internet of Things, but we should also think about the visual Internet of Things. That's a new emerging area, but we should just want to like think about push out of the World Wide Web actually. And the other one, the metaverse will transform social media and marketing ideas. Yeah, kind of it will allow brands to present their stories in ways that were not possible earlier. Yeah, these are the kind of the way to it could be next internet actually. And why another parameter, work and collaboration will still steadily move into the metaverse. And why actually in the today's changing business environment, organizations are shaping their structure around the employee expectation and requirements. Right now, we're working as a hybrid conditions. Actually, it means that a hybrid workplace in the future could take the shape of the 3D metaverse-based virtual office, where both in remote and in-office workers could interact and equal footing in real time. Actually, it should be way to just use the metaverse in that purpose actually. And the other one is that the avatars we will discuss today, how we can just create that kind of the avatar platforms. Yeah, avatars would represent the employees as they communicate in the virtual workplace. Should be a great way. And also, we can also engage the augmented reality and virtual reality platforms to digital twins. That's another way to just want to integrate in the work platforms. And yeah, these kind of the factors, they can just lead the metaverse should be next internet uh, way to just use in our working conditions. Okay, and just briefly also mention that how we can design or how we can think about the metaverse. And we should have some stages. We should go to the process. For example, that's the first stage. You can use a VR headset or Web 3.0 or based on which web platform you can use. These are the starting point actually. And then we should want to go to the full body VR and full web. It means that Internet of Things or decentralized autonomous organization tool or platforms you can use. But if you want to go to the advanced modeling strategy or like the data architecture or architecture platform, you can just want to think about advanced virtual reality neurotech. Right now, we can heard that kind of the project update, but you can also just integrate the full decentralization. You can just reach multi-center purpose actually, and then we should want to just link the real world conditions. These are the like four stages how we can think about the kind of the communication layers to implement your idea. And just briefly mention that what is stage one and two actually. Stage one of the metaverse depends on the modern day of the VR technology and yeah, which kind of the technological spec we are using actually. It means that it is going to allow for relatively immersive experience in a virtual world using just headset or two-hand controllers. Just imagine that kind of stuff. It's a beginner level actually. In this stage, we should use infrastructure layer or communication layer for web-based platform and to integrate the metaverse games, like for example, using the blockchain protocols. I will just explain each step by step how we can go to use these kind of elements. And the other thing is that for the blockchain protocols, maybe you know that NFT, we should want to call non-fungible tokens actually have allowed to people to own their own digital assets actually. For as the stage two actually the brings mass access to technologies like haptic body suits or like the making user feel as they are in the real world. Yeah, these are the like imagine that you can feel like the real world environment. These technologies like will handle the way of your full body movements feel, and the sense of touch will provide a nearly real experience. And that's another critical part. We can also just think about that's the expandable and the transparency level, and it means that you can just reach kind of the people and the behavior of the people uh, within the metaverse platform. Just final part, and just also mention that you for the stage three, we can just go to the deeper and deeper. It means that it's a kind of technical level, more technical level. And yeah, for example, advanced neurohaptic VR, or people will form deep relationship in the metaverse. These are the critical, and also we can also engage the some standardization and kind of equal diversity inclusion criteria, because the government level they can put some kind of criteria how they can just go to the process, uh, some kind of, for example, virtual citizenship. That's another critical issue. But these are the stage three. Right now, we are working on stage one or stage two to design our metaverse platforms or toolkits. Okay, I want to just mention that how it works and how we can go behind the implementation stage. You have an idea, and but you want to ask how we can just start, or how we can choose your kind of your tools or your elements or products. And these are the option, like you can use like blockchain, virtual reality, augmented reality, or artificial intelligence, 3D reconstruction, or internet of things. We can discuss today in each particle, for example, in which tools or resource you can use actually. Just want to maybe I briefly mention that what is the meaning that blockchain kind of technology is used to establish a decentralized network of the virtual worlds and 3D space known as metaverse actually. Uh, AI, you can just use the AI for just create the avatars, digital humans, like it means that the conversational platform or natural language processing or large language model. Just wanna go to process the just the analytic data analytic platform, or you should wanna just use the VR, just control and imagine that the 3D computer generated environments that replicates real or imaginary worlds using sounds, visual, and sensation to the devices. And that's another critical part, Internet of Things, because we should want to just create the device-device communication. It means that the IoT is a basically interconnection of the everyday things via the internet. Just want to mention each particle through the implementation phase later, actually. Okay, and which application area you should apply for metaverse? Healthcare, education, sustainability, manufacturing, gaming, banking, and finance. These are the potential areas to go to apply for metaverse technology. And just also mention that the practical scenarios in healthcare, because in our challenge, yeah, you should want to choose either education, healthcare, or sustainability. I want to just give you some kind of examples. You should imagine that how you can think about that kind of ideas. For example, in healthcare, we should practice some simulations. For example, in here, you can just see here, Virti, they can provide a VR virtual reality based training for medical professionals to practice procedures. They are using VR simulations, AI analytics, and haptic feedback devices. Just want to learn how they can practice some kind of procedures, critical procedures actually. And the other one is the remote surgical assistance and Proximia. And Proximia can provide us options to collaborate remotely using the augmented reality technology, and they can just interact the real-time video streaming. Just want to go to the surgical assistant procedure actually. That's a great opportunity to use the augmented reality. I just want to also mention that that's a critical area, and mainly they just want to use the therapy or rehabilitation part actually. And immersive app, they can provide an option VR-based physical therapy programs for patients. It means that they can track the motion track. That's the technique part, but why they just want to track the motion? Because they just understand how it's getting they can just recover their body, and they just want to like to provide the VR environments. It means that that's a personalized exercise routines actually. These are the potential way to just create the real world examples in healthcare. But you just ask the question in which tools or platforms you can use for this kind of metaverse platform development. I want to just mention that. And first, maybe you should want to just develop the game strategy. It means that you should use game engines. You can just see here, we are currently using Unity or Unreal Engine 5. And Unity, that's based on the game engine platform supporting C# scripting, just creating the 3D environments and interactive experience. Yeah, you can just directly just reach this Unity platform through that website. Yeah, we can just share this recording site actually. You can definitely just reach to that materials later. And the other one is Unreal Engine 5. And you can also work on that real-time rendering process. But in that case, they are using the C++, not the Sharp. But it is not a problem for you because that's a user interface platform. You can easily create your what you want to just design actually. But these are the well-known platforms. You can use Unity or Unreal Engine 5. Okay, and maybe you can ask which kind of programming language or compiler platform you can use. In Metaverse programming side, actually, we are using C# for the Internet of Things platform designing. Augmented reality or VR, what we can do actually, we just want to go to the process to analyze the sound or motion track, these like kind of data analytic purpose actually. Or you can use C++, yeah, for the like for C++ through the Unreal Engine performance structure, or JavaScript. I will also mention later. We are using mainly for web-based metaverse platforms. Yeah, it means that you can scrap for WebXR applications. And for the Python, yeah, you can just implement your AI or machine learning purpose, kind of data analytics or visualization purpose. You can also use Rust, but it is not popular actually. But you can also use that kind of option. That's another option is Solidity. We will discuss later. For only just for blockchain purpose, yeah, you can just create your Ethereum platform, and it means that you can use this open source platform Solidity. That's a way to just design the blockchain. Okay, and then you should also just think about how to model a 3D environment or animation structure. In that case, you should use Blender. That's open source 3D creation suite platform. Actually, you can just model or reach and animate or simulate or render. These are the options. That's a great source actually to design your 3D modeling structure. Or you can just see that image here, Autodesk Maya. That's a kind of professional 3D software platform to create the realistic characteristic effects on your design actually. Okay, and then we should just go to the process how to design virtual reality or augmented reality development phase. In that case, we can use like VR toolkit, and we can just call VRTK, a kind of a collection of the useful and reusable solutions, a kind of code platforms. And I just put their GitHub link actually here. You can just reach and just use in which source code it is applicable for your idea. You can use directly that kind of source. And the other one, AR Core or AR Kit. One of them is for the Google and the other one is the Apple platform. They can just build the augmented reality application design. For example, in the image, we can just see iOS platform structure. These are the developer toolkit actually. You can directly use this kind of the environment to just design your AR augmented reality applications. Okay, and if you want to just prefer web-based metaverse frameworks, and in that case, we are mainly allocated for the JavaScript platform, and we have two other options right now, but these are the well-known, but you can use the other options. A frame, we have just options to just want to control on the user interface platform, and that's a web framework like the building virtual reality experience. And the other one is directly JavaScript library 3.js. You can directly create your 3D contact directly in the website. These are the platform to design your web-based metaverse frameworks. Okay, and last one, if you want to work on the blockchain or smart contract contacts, you should use either Ethereum or Solidity. Solidity is a kind of programming language for writing and smart contracts on Ethereum especially, but for Ethereum, you can just want to design your decentralized platform to build and deploy the smart contracts and decentralized applications. Yeah, these are like options to just choose specific tools or platforms to just design and build your metaverse development stage actually. I also just put there here some useful resources, and if you want to check okay, maybe you should look for another application or tools. These are the well-defined guideline structure. Just put your GitHub files, and for example, how we can go to the process, how we can start to build the metaverse platform. And you can just click that the GitHub link files and then just check each specific toolkits and which one is appropriate or suitable for your ideas. You can choose later. And you should also go to the process to understand how to develop for metaverse. It means that how you can start, in which skills or technologies or tools you should have. It means that you need to check literature. I also put the recent paper here. Maybe you can read and just wanna identify your process, how you can design your metaverse development stage. Yeah, just also put there some images from the GitHub file, and you can just identify open source frameworks, open source toolkits. Actually, we are mainly just recommend the open source toolkits or frameworks. It should be a better way, just wanna like the control on your side. You can also just want to use the not only focus on 3D platform, you can also choose 2D platforms or avatar providers. Yeah, you can also design your avatars through the AI. But the critical part I want to also mention and highlight, you can adjust the protocols and standards, because how you can go to the process. For example, if you just want to work on the decentralized some idea or some uh, mindset, and you can just want to choose, like for example, Ethereum standard or protocol. Yeah, check or peer-to-peer protocol, or this, it means that that's a kind of device-to-device communication protocol or infrastructure layer structure. Please go to read that kind of protocol and standards, how you can align with your idea actually. Okay, until now, I discussed with the what is a metaverse and how we can just think about that, your mindset to go through the process to just develop your idea. But right now, we just discuss what is our concept of the grand challenge actually. We just released our the grand challenge, and yeah, you almost just want to register, but if you couldn't register, it means that you, if you couldn't uh just mention your express of interest before, please go to just want to register your express of interest. I will explain and I will provide the links later, but you can just scan the barcode to reach out to our website, just find the each details. But I want to just mention here, our submission deadline right now is on September 1st. We can go to the specific details right now. And what is the competition overview actually? You have a freedom actually. We can just, you can just use your creativity freedom. We don't put any kind of the context criteria. You can choose your idea or your context based on our thema categories I will mention later. But you can just feel free to choose a specific topic regarding your creativity actually, to develop immersive simulations that model key process and innovation, not only just education purpose, but just want to like the focus on the simulation based learning approach. This challenge focus on the designing, engaging, and interactive simulation items that can enhance the learning and training experience for YPs and students. That's the critical part. We are looking for YP and students for the competition challenge. All applicants must be students from an accredited university or YPs. YP definition, I want to just highlight here. YPs who have graduated with their first professional degree within the past 15 years. And I just want to mention before, please just just complete the form. It means that just mention that your express of interest regarding that challenge, because we have some stages, go to the submission stage. Yeah, I will want to just mention each specific details, but if you couldn't apply before, yeah, please go to the process to just complete this form. And you can also just check our official contents rules. Yeah, you can just scan the barcode each specific, like the QR site actually, just reach website, official contents rules, or you can fill out the express of interest form. Yeah, and I can also just want to highlight what is our objective. And this challenge aims to foster simulation driven learning experience on either 2D or 3D metaverse platforms. Yeah, you can go to just wanna to design and interactively engage with the concept, process, and problem solving scenarios. You can design, simulate, and showcase emerging technology elements like using real-time AI enhanced or user adaptive simulations. That's almost up to you actually. That's the freedom actually. Yeah, we should just want to like to provide the freedom, like creative freedom from your side actually, and you can go through the process to design your mindset. The goal is to create the scalable, immersive, and global accessible education tools that transform learning purpose. Okay, how you can go through the process to participate? First of all, you should express your interest in the contest. Please go to our website to register that the express your interest form, and then you should want to just create your team actually. And because during your submission period, you must submit your team project materials actually. What is a team structure actually? Teams may consist of 1 to 5 individuals. Each participant may only join one team, and complete list of team members must be included within your project submission. And the critical part, team members cannot be changed after the submission finalized. And I want to also just highlight that part. The submission portal will be available following. Yeah, it means that when we just finalize the knowledge sharing webinar series, we will just release the submission portal. The submission deadline September 1st, actually. Okay, what are the like the categories? And yeah, you have a like the creativity freedom and just the focus here to develop the immersive simulations, but you can focus on the specific theme categories. It means that you must select one of the following themes to guide your the simulation development purpose, and either healthcare application in digital learning, or smart cities or urban innovation, or advanced learning in educational or classroom environments. These are our specific theme categories. You can choose one of them actually. Okay, maybe you have any questions how we can go to the process, how we can select. We also provide some ideas to and kind of the inspiration to spark your ideas. Yeah, please scan the barcode just to reach this document here. We also just embedded this document into our website. Yeah, for example, we just highlighted some case scenarios like for the process simulation, how to utilize the AI to create the dynamic and interactive models um, of the education purpose. Like I also just mentioned today, STEM experiments, virtual physics labs, or AI-driven decision-making tools. You can also create the digital-driven application or platforms, or just want to like to create some instant feedback or automated corrections, because that's also a critical part for the metaverse side. You can also just want to work on the adaptive learning algorithm structure, like through the AI driven personalization mindset, or AI tutors or chatbots. You can just want to like to integrate into the metaverse platform, or you can use like interactive problem solving, gamification elements, yeah, kind of reward based learning, or time sensitive tasks, because you should want to control some kind of specific task, time sensitive base, or yeah, multi users collaboration, or sustainable and ethical consideration. We should also explore ethical challenges, because maybe you remember that when we just want to reach the metaverse just linked to real world scenario, we can also address the ethical challenges, how we can go to the process, for example, bias, transparency, responsible solutions. These are also another particle you should focus on that items. But these are the examples, and you don't want to just focus on these kind of the scenarios. We should only just provide how you can go to the, think about your ideas, or you can develop your mindset actually. These are the examples. Okay, I also just want to highlight here, and if you want to just think about or just discuss with your teams, you can go to check the detail like the guidebook, or like the reports. And I want to just highlight again, you can go to the read and just check that kind of tutorials. It should be better for you and how you can design your process or ideas. Okay, and the next part, how we can go through submission process. We are looking for actually two different materials, including PowerPoint presentation up to 5 slides. You should clearly indicate in which thema you can work on, and to provide a brief implementation design overview and highlight key technology elements and in which elements you use that to enhance education and learning experience. And you should just provide your slides up. Yeah, you should just provide your all elements up to 5 slides. And you need to also record video between 5 to 7 minutes just to showcase your project in an engaging format. Yeah, maybe you can just demonstrate. That's up to you how you can go to the process to showcase your idea, and to highlight elements should be considered in the evaluation process. Okay, what is judging criteria? Because you need to also know that the specific elements, and when you want to just work on your idea, you can just see here. And for example, for the effectiveness of simulation-based learning, the weight of 25 right now, creativity and innovation around 20%, education impact or learning effectiveness, we should evaluate as a 20%, and user experience, user interface or UX or engagement side actually, 15%. Integration of the additional elements, including AI, gamification, or adaptive learning, based on your site. We don't put any kind of the specific elements here. Just want to say integration of the additional technological elements around 10%. And we can also evaluate your idea or your materials in terms of the sustainability, accessibility, or ethical consideration around 10%. If you just develop your idea, please consider that kind of criteria just to preparation of your materials actually. Yeah, that's also another critical part for you, and you need to know what are the prizes actually. We have a first place awards as a travel grants. Up to 2 winners will receive 2,500 in a travel expenses to attend the 2025 IEEE International Symposium on Emerging Metaverse, located with a IEEE International Conference on Computer Vision in Hawaii, or another IEEE Metaverse Initiative event. We have also another prize as a second place awards. Up to 2 winners will receive a premium backpack featuring IEEE Metaverse and YP logos along with the certificate or achievements. But just want to highlight, awards will only be granted if suitable winners are identified actually. And you should also know that what are the prizes for your participation actually. Okay, and I also just want to share some exciting news, and we have a upcoming knowledge sharing webinars. We can directly focus on each specific thema category. For example, next Saturday, we will discuss the smart cities purpose actually. That's our webinar title, Immersive Innovation for Smart Cities and SaaStech, how we can design from virtual labs to sustainable features. 9 a.m. ET, and based on your time zone actually. And the next Sunday, we have another webinar focused on the healthcare application in digital learning, and 9 a.m. again, but 10:30 a.m. we should want to go to the process to discuss how to build the future of learning, like simulation ideas for smart classrooms. Yeah, just scan the barcode and go to the website to register each webinar series. Yeah, just click the register now button actually. Just click the register the the webinar series, and you can go to the process to just engage with we also invite the expert speakers, and you can just want to discuss with your points, your ideas, your concerns it's a great opportunity for you just want like to learn each specific thema categories. Just want to also mention that here, for example, next Saturday, yeah, we have a webinar for smart cities. We have a one uh, speaker, Yashaswini. She will just discuss and the simulations for sustainable smart cities, kind of the some fundamental part, and also she will also demonstrate some use case studies how she like implemented in her like the working environment. That's a great practice actually. Yeah, please scan the barcode to register that the webinar. And the next one actually next Sunday, and we will also have another expert speaker, Professor May, and she will just want to discuss with us how this just want to simulate the healthcare purpose, and she will also demonstrate the case scenario, use case scenarios actually. That's a great know-how actually. And the last part, we have another speaker, Gustavo, actually, and he will discuss how to just think about the ideas for the future of learning and how to just go through process to design your simulation ideas. And he will also demonstrate some kind of innovative examples to just want to implement in the smart classroom. Okay, as a last part, I know you are getting a bit tired, but I just want to mention that's the part maybe it should be critical for you. Frequently asked questions. I have like around 20 questions. I will go to the quickly just cover that each specific question. Who can participate in the competition? Yeah, we just discussed before. Participants must be either students or young professionals, and young professional definition here who received their first professional degree within the past 15 years. And also you need to be at least 18 years old and registered in a country where the participation is legally permitted actually. How many members can a team have? Teams can have 1 to 5 members. Each person can participate in only one team. Yeah, teams must be finalized at the submission, cannot modify it then actually. And what are the three team categories we discussed during that session? But I just want to highlight again here. We have, sorry, we have healthcare applications in digital learning, sustainability smart cities and urban innovation, advanced learning in educational or classroom environments. How do you register and officially submit a project? First step, you should want to express your interest through our online form at our website. Just click that website. If you couldn't apply before, yeah, please do that express your interest form. And then you should submit your team project submission, including PowerPoint and video during the official submission process. Submission portal will be provided after the finalizing the knowledge sharing webinars. Okay, what should you submit actually? Yeah, PowerPoint presentation, maximum 5 slides describing concept, thema, and educational impact, because we should focus on what you should learn, like from the simulation learning purpose, and 5 to 7 minute video demonstrating the simulation and your project core features actually. We just discussed before what are the judging criteria like simulation-based learning effectiveness, creativity and innovation, educational impact, user interface and engagement, integration of the additional elements like AI gamification, sustainability and accessibility and ethical purpose. When is the submission deadline? The final deadline for the project submission is September 1st. Can you submit an already published or past project? No, actually, your project must be original, not previously published or submitted else anywhere. You must own full rights and complete with submission rules. Can your project be a mobile or web-based simulation, or just on the focus on VR or AR? You should go through the process to develop in 2D or 3D environments. may run on desktop, web, mobile, immersive platforms. That depends on your choose actually. The key evaluation focus here is on interactivity, innovation, and learning effectiveness, not the platform actually. You can choose in which platform you can go to process, but you can highlight how you can develop 2D or 3D metaverse environments actually. Uh, you can use any kind of pre-built assets or open source libraries. Yeah, you can go ahead. You can use publicly available assets or libraries as long as you credit the sources you can credit the sources in your application, and your final submission represents original integration and educational innovation. Maybe you should ask what is the expectation of the level kind of technical complexity. We don't say that kind of technical complexity, but we can encourage you to just want to to develop the creativity and functionality prototypes. Yeah, your submissions demonstrate educational valuable simulation purpose actually. And maybe the other question, your simulation be evaluated live or only based on your submission materials? Evaluation is based entirely on PowerPoint and video submission. Make sure your video clearly showcase like features, interactions, and value, because the judges will not have the access to live video or demos. You can just want to clearly indicate what you can just demonstrate in your video and PowerPoint submission materials. And another point, you can also just think about to submit the code or technical documentation. In your PowerPoint and video should be sufficient to explain the concept, implementation, and technology use or education value, but please incorporate your source codes or the development platform links into the PowerPoint document. And we should want to just get what you can just develop actually. Your team submit more than one project if it fits the different themas. Actually, each team can submit only one entry. We can just look for actually the entry must clearly specify which thema category you can go to the address actually. We discussed before and which kind of technologies or tools you can use to build your simulation. You are almost free to choose the tools based on your technical preference. Yeah, for example, Unity or Unreal Engine for 3D simulations, WebXR, A-Frame, or 3.js for the web-based applications. You can use AI integration tools like TensorFlow, Dialogflow, or you can just develop AR or VR development through the AI Kit or AI Core. You can almost free to choose specific tools based on your preference actually. That's a critical part. If your team member drop out during the project development, yeah, you can almost just want to reconfigure your team as long as it means between the 1 to 5 member limit. But if you just submit the document and after that, it is not the easy way to just change the structure, because final members must be confirmed at the submission process actually. Yeah, as a last couple of questions, just want to also highlight, are there any preferred programming language or platforms? You may use any language, engine, or platform that best support your simulation education goals. Judges evaluate the impact, not the technical stack actually. That's a critical part. I want to highlight that point. You can use collaborative and multiplayer simulations. We can almost encourage, yeah, because you can also just want to learn and integrate accessibility and integrity platforms. Maybe you can also ask that question, is there any kind of minimum duration or complexity for the simulation? There is no minimum complexity or any kind of duration, but simulation must be functional enough to demonstrate what is your purpose and what is your learning outcomes you can target. Yeah, your video should clearly show how a user interacts with it and learns from the system. That's the critical part because we can just evaluate that part. That's the last three questions. Can you submit a prototype that use external services or APIs? And it means that kind of bridge a key actually. Yeah, you can use definitely, yeah, external services like OpenAI, Firebase, Map APIs are acceptable as long as your submission is original, does not violate any third-party license issues. Um, will there a mentorship or support during the challenge? Yes, registered participants will have access to knowledge sharing webinar series because we have invited speakers, yeah, experts will they will present their develop tools or best practice or case studies. This is an excellent opportunity for you to ask questions or get an interactive learning purpose or refine your simulation design. And as a last question, are there any expectations for the accessibility or inclusivity in your design? Yes, and one of the judging criteria includes sustainability, accessibility, and ethical considerations. Yeah, you should want to focus on how we can go through the process to just because it may positively affect your overall score. Thank you so much. If you have any kind of questions, I will be more than happy to answer that.